the same like Cisco. Do you remember this company? In 2000, it went up and then down, but right now it's up again. What do you think? Put in comments. Some people say they selling everything, but taking profit. But if you plan to hold it long term for next 10 years, of course, better not to sell because selling deep. Let's discuss, for example, this. Do you agree with him?
Or fear campaigns
He said don't sell.
to selling on a downtrend before we see yet another uptrend, even though all the headlines are trying to scare you. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about
What do you
the
think?
thesis is still intact, why I'm more
Do you agree
bullish
with him?
than ever on Micron, AMD, and Nvidia, why the
Let me
AI
show you
race
what's
is not
happened too.
over, even though this morning a multi-billionaire investor said that the AI race is over, but we're going to talk about why he's probably wrong and what they're not paying attention to.
Macron
Because
is
everything
down.
we have
Macron.
mentioned, HBM is completely sold out for
It's
2026,
crazy.
going into probably even 2027. Everything in terms of data center build out, all the stuff we have talked about hasn't changed. It's just aggressive profit taking, which of course, with headlines, coupled with some of the things that are scaring Wall Street and retail investors, this is when institutions are going to be buying the dips. So don't fall victim to being in panic mode. So let's go ahead and dive in. First and foremost,
Put in comment
we
what do you
dive into
think.
the charts. All right. So what do we have here? Micron stock is below its 20-day exponential moving average.
Let's see
This has
Macron.
happened the last time we thought 20-day EMA was right around March 31st when the market overall pulled back heavily from memory and semiconductors as well. With these really nice price swings to the upside, we will see downturns. It's just the natural way of the market. And you guys can see what's happened even when we hit a new all-time high back on June 3rd. Look at the numbers here. We went to an all-time high of about $1,091, and then we downtrended all the way to a 21% correction at $856. Did anything change during that downturn that made people panic sell? Possibly. Am I worried about it? No. What's going on right now? We touched a new all-time high yet again at 1255. It's just based off pure technicals. We're down about, yet again, 21%. The same correction or corrective territory that we entered into back in the beginning of June, and right now we're in the beginning of July. So the people that make the most money in the market are the ones that can scoop in and buy fear. The same story sits for AMD, back to its 20-day exponential moving average. Nvidia right now is forming a red candle, and we're going to see, is it going to touch its 200-day EMA? If it does, this is going to be a buy, buy, buy. I wish I could tell you directly to buy, sell, or hold, but I'm telling you, for me, these are my buy zones. If you don't have liquidity, again, the worst thing you can do for yourself is sell during these downturns, because when the market bounces and it comes back and rallies to a new all-time high, you're going to say, why did I panic sell? Why was I so worried? Why was I so anxious?
Yes, subscribe, give
Don't
like
let
to
the
this video.
anxiety of headlines scare you.
It's better
But
to
let's
keep.
talk about what those headlines are. Bill Ackman
You see
coming
it's
out earlier
down.
today saying that he agreed. Of course, I did not leave him a like here because this James E. Thorne individual, by the way, Bill Ackman, very much sidelined if you guys look at his portfolio from Pershing Square. But let's not talk about that for a second. So this is an opinion from James E. Thorne. He said the market has already moved on. Disagree. A leadership change is already underway, but most investors are still clinging to the last trade. Everyone is crowded into semiconductors and memory, propped up by massive flows, and sell-side extrapolating an era of outsized earnings surprises. That is now behind us. The big earnings revision cycle for semiconductors and AI power is over.
But Palantir is up.
Again, these kind of things,
yes, hello,
from this kind of individual, won't probably get much impression.
Yes, put in comments what stocks you buying selling today, because market is down.
Again, from a credential standpoint, someone
Let's
that
see
is
SpaceX.
very well credentialed. He's a marketing strategist for Wellington.
I told you, don't buy SpaceX.
But
it's better to buy when it's go below 100.
Private equity, call it. But when you have billionaires like Bill Ackman with a $10 billion
yes, hi,
portfolio,
yes, subscribe, give like,
you know people are going to pay attention. And unfortunately, people will fall victim to these headlines. What happened with Warren Buffett in 2024 and 2025? He sold extremely early before the entire market rallied by 30 to 40%, holding his biggest cash position pretty much ever for Berkshire Hathaway, because he said, I don't understand this market anymore. But he jumped back in at higher prices, and the story moves on. Now, if you're a short-term, short-mindseted individual that's looking to make quick bucks in the market, remember, this is just not the strategy.
Yes, you
to
see,
build
SpaceX
yourself
better
wealth.
to wait,
You're
don't
supposed
buy
to
it
be.
now.
The best thing you can do is build out a portfolio from when you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, even your 50s, it doesn't matter, 60s, even if you're retired. Building out a portfolio that has steady growth year over year, sometimes outperforming, which we have been outperforming the S&P 500 or other indices. When those things happen, you should be very much excited. When we see down
It's
draws,
down
if you have dry
7%.
powder, you buy the dip. It's just as simple as that. In addition to everything else that we've talked about, Donald Trump has been bull posting nonstop for Micron. And this is the only thing that I feel like is maybe a little bit weird, is twice within a 24-hour period, Donald Trump comes out and says the biggest news: Micron, a truly great American company and one of the hottest anywhere in the world, has announced a historic $250 million investment in Trump accounts. Followed by that, this morning, after market open, he said Micron, a great American company,
Yes, Micron
announced
went
that
up.
they are putting $250 million into the Trump accounts for the future benefit of our children, and their stock went up 9 points today. I don't know. It's a little off-putting when the President of the United States, who has public disclosures of his holdings, is bull posting a company twice in 24 hours. And I think at this point, the Trump effect that we have been looking for in the past is no longer as effective, for lack of better words. So with that, all I'm saying is, again, guys, for me, this is nothing but an overcorrection, overextension, and call it the Zuckerberg effect with what he said yesterday with Meta company, which, by the way, if we look at Meta stock real quick, the gains that they made yesterday on the news that they're going to start selling excess compute, yes, it rallied 11.64%, but straight to another down draw after that.
Meta, you
So,
see.
again, I just think what we're seeing in front of us right now is an overreaction to baseless headlines and people saying that the AI trade is over. Has AI demand gone down? It's still absolutely enormous. Is HBM memory sold out? Are semiconductors still very highly sought after by data centers, by personal computer providers, by the Mag 7, Microsoft, Apple, Google, you name it? Is it still going to be a continuous bottleneck moving over quarter? Yes. And the GM company, General Motors, signing a multi-year long-term supply agreement with Micron, nothing changed from our intact thesis. So with that being said, again, more reasons for me to believe that it's a hold opportunity or buy the dip opportunity if you can. Now, one thing that I also want to talk about in this video is, I mentioned this in a previous video a few days ago, but remember, most tech stocks right now from record highs are in bear market territory. And I'm talking deep market territory. Oracle, Coinbase, Salesforce, all down 50 to 70% from their all-time highs. ServiceNow, Netflix, Palantir, Microsoft, Meta, you name it, Marvell, Nvidia, Amazon, all of these within the S&P 500 index, NASDAQ or QQQ, are all down significantly from their all-time highs. So with that being said, the overall market sentiment, if you're not in semiconductors or the AI trade, you are selling off because people have rotated their finances, their funds, their 401ks into these more volatile opportunities that have asymmetric upside to downside relative to some of these others. But here's a gem for those of you that stuck around to the end of the video. My extremely long-term play, if I'm talking 20 to 40 years down the line, what I want in my personal portfolio are, when we have overextension or periods of time where a market is hot somewhere, when we reach all-time high after all-time high after all-time high, profit taking based off of your own thesis that you create, and then rotating that money. You don't want to hold cash, not in a hyperinflationary state with 4.2% consumer price index or inflation markers right now, meaning your dollar gets devalued year over year if you hold it as a cash position. Instead, we take the money and we put it into these blue chip companies that have 20, 30, 40-year runway of being the face of the stock market and technology companies. So with that being said, AMD, Micron, Nvidia are some of those companies for me. But in addition, things like Microsoft, big tech company, Meta, of course, Nvidia being on this list, Marvell, Broadcom, all of these are good to dollar cost average into as well. You don't have to only hold 3 stocks on your portfolio. You can hold a lot more than that. And the more exposure you have, obviously, the better. But we don't like index funds because that's, in my opinion, overexposure, especially to some companies that don't have as much upside as some of these others that we talk about.
Let's see
on the channel.
Coinbase.
So I hope I could be a voice of reason. History repeats itself, and that's just how it goes. And right now, history points to a strong July for U.S. stocks. Since 2005, the S&P 500 has recorded an average 2.5% gain. In the month of July, more than 4 times the average increase seen over the other 11 months of the year. The index has not declined in July for 11 consecutive years, the longest positive streak of any month over this period. Obviously, right now, the indexes are overextended, so this could be an anomaly year because of what happened with our semiconductor and memory rallies. So right now, the S&P 500 has posted a 24 all-time high so far in 2026. This ranks among the top 20 strongest starts of a year for an index since World War II, believe it or not. Historically, when the index has seen a streak, it has rallied another 6% over the following months on average. Seasonal patterns suggest continued bullish momentum this month. So with that being said, a lot of things looking better for us. And in terms of tailwinds, based off of historical data and historical technicals, we have better days to look forward to. And the beginning of months with profit taking, with new monthly candles forming, let people take profits as much as they need. HODL if you can. If your financial situation is dire and you're up a lot right now and you're worried about some more downside that we can go through, do what you got to do. But for me, this is just HODL season. I already bought the dip. I don't have more money to continue to buy the dip. If I make hopefully more income in the next 2 to 4 weeks, and we're maybe even at the current prices or lower, which I really don't expect, I'll just be buying more. That's just my strategy. The market.
But yes, what about you? Do you buy more or you want to wait? Put in comments. Which one is better? Can Micron go back to 2000? SanDisk. What do you think? Put in comments, okay? Don't forget, subscribe, give like. Let's see.
Before we even jump into the Apple and Micron feud, you put out a tweet. Let me share
Take a
my
look.
screen
Micron is down
here.
today like crazy. So I
Micron
subscribe,
stock
give
to
like to this video.
Is
Do you remember?
now,
Did you
what
short
AI did you
Micron?
use to make this graphic? I mean,
This ChatGPT.
Did you make money?
So the graph is all completely
Put
made
in
up,
chat.
by the way. But basically, what I wanted to show is that,
And
in
what?
my view, Micron is worth at least $1,800. This is like post-Micron earnings. After, of course, Micron's earnings happened when we were live last week. So we didn't get a chance to sort of analyze the details of their report as well as their earnings call.
Let's
All
see
of that
Micron.
stuff actually I ended up doing later that day.
Yeah, subscribe,
And
give
that's when
like
I
to
put
this
in
video.
this tweet where, based on everything that Micron
We
is
send
saying,
signals,
and I'm gonna
recommendation. Hi,
go
hi.
recap the earnings
Hunters
because it's sort
Instruments.
of like worthwhile recapping, and we can get rid of this screen. But based
Did
on
you invest?
everything
Did you
that
make
Micron
money?
is saying, it is now clear to me that Micron has not fully ran its course. So
But it's
what are
down.
the things that they're saying? One, they
Put in comment,
continue
did you
to
invest?
say
Did you
that,
make money?
they're supply constrained, and
Because
now
today
they have
is
visibility
huge
all
dip.
the way to the end of 2027 that they're sold out. So they don't expect supply constraints to sort of like be relieved until at least 2020.
Let's see what Anthropic said. Do you use any AI? Put in comments. Let's see San Francisco.
I love this library.
It is absolutely, the AI company with, the most revenue and the most valuation sometime around this time. And indeed it has happened. We're just keeping in mind all the things we usually keep in mind. How do we train good models? How do we put them in good products?
Subscribe, give like to this video. See you next
What were
video.
you like as a kid growing up in San Francisco? I know your dad was a leather craftsman, your mom